Welcome to the Risk Forever channel, guys. Channel which shares the most relevant tips and tricks on how to win at Risk and improve your rank in no time. Subscribe to the channel and you won't even see how fast you will become so much better at Risk. Push that notification bell to see new videos first. This is your host ChampionEver, and today we are playing 6-player progressive card game on classic Risk map. Settings: alliances on, balanced blitz dice rolls in 60 seconds per turn. This time I'm playing against one novice rank player who is orange, 2 beginner rank players who are yellow and blue, 1 master rank player who is green, and even 1 grandmaster rank player who is purple. Wow, I managed to get a grandmaster rank player in my game. I rarely get grandmasters in my games, so I'm always kinda excited to compete against them. So let's see what tricks the purple player has to show us up his sleeve. And wow guys, apparently he's just another kamikaze player. It was so ridiculous to blitz my 9 troops. How he doesn't understand that he just basically cleared out a continent for another player. Yellow, orange and blue players have some troops near, so one of them is definitely going to take over South America. I would understand if I would have been blitzed by a beginner or a novice. They totally don't know how to properly play, but this is why they have such a low rank. But when a grandmaster rank player blitzes your troops like that, it's just ridiculous. Being a grandmaster rank, you shouldn't play like that. Well, if it wasn't clear for him that he will just basically clear out South America for another player by blitzing my troops, then I don't have much to say to him, I guess. Well, he most likely got mad that I added some troops to South America, as while I had 5 of them into it, the purple player had even 9. But how a grandmaster rank player doesn't understand that is so ridiculous to fight over a continent in progressive card games, is just unexplainable. We could just both had our troops in South America, so both of us would have been more spread out. As you know guys, that it's so important to be spread out well enough in progressive card games to not be an easy target to be taken out, as you're most likely remember that the key to win at progressive card games is by taking opponent after opponent out, when it's worth for their cards. So if you're not spread out well enough, then you are in a potential risk. Also, I'm not even mentioning on how it is important to not waste your troops, as by being low on them you cannot really take anyone out, while at the same time you're just an easy target for someone else, and if you aren't spread out well enough, then the game is basically over for you. I'm saying again, that he might got mad that I added my troops to South America, but why would I want to give a huge advantage for another player when I could totally prevent that of happening? It's not the same thing to give a continent for a grandmaster rank player like to novice or a beginner rank player. Most of the grandmasters know how to properly play, so if they get a continent early, then they have a huge advantage against others and it becomes so hard if not impossible to beat them, as they will have much more troops than anybody else, meaning that they will be safe of not getting taken out first, while they'll have the best possibility to take any other player out. And when a novice gets a continent, he does many stupid attacks, crushes other players' troops when it's absolutely not needed, and in doing so, gives an advantage for whichever lucky player who will get to take out drastically weakened opponents, getting a bunch of cards for basically free. So anyways, as you can see, the purple player not only ruined the game for me, but for himself as well. We're quite weaker than anybody else, so both of us are the potential targets to be taken out as soon as it will be worth for our cards. The orange and yellow players got continents so early, and that puts us even in a bigger disadvantage. Chances for us to win are very low. As you can see, the purple player even started to put his troops into one big army at the same time stopping to get any cards at all. He uses 0 card strategy. If you want to find more information about that strategy and even see a real game example on how to win using this strategy, then feel free to watch the video I'm putting in a video card above, after you finish watching this one. But the basic principle of that strategy is that you stop getting cards at all and start putting your troops into one big army. And then you're just waiting till some player makes some mistakes that will give a huge advantage to you. You're just basically waiting for an opportunity if you get one. You rarely get one, but instead of one of the last places, you will most likely get either second or third. The strategy only works when you have either 1 or 0 cards in total, as then it doesn't worth to take you out. If you stop getting cards when you have like 3 or 4 cards in total, when obviously eventually you will be taken out being so weak. Also use this strategy only in progressive card games. There is no reason to stop getting cards in fixed card games, as in fixed cards troop bonuses are not that big, so cards don't mean that much, so you're not in risk of getting taken out like in progressive card games. Differently, if you stop getting cards in fixed cards, you will become even easier opponent to be taken out. So anyways guys, I'm doing another poll as always. Feel free to vote in it. How do you think, which player will be eliminated first? I'm really wondering how many of you will be right. If had to guess, then I would pick the red player, or myself if we say another word, I'm the weakest player besides purple, so I'm in more danger than anybody else. But at least I have some troops in Australia, so I'm pretty much blocked from any other players except yellow who has some troops in Australia as well, and purple who just basically puts his troops into big army and doesn't do anything at all. So if nobody of these players will decide to wipe my troops for some reasons out of Australia, then I should be good, at least for some time, until value of set starts getting quite big, that it would be even worth to take down purple's troops in order to reach me. But I mean, I'm still accessible for yellow, so he might be the player who will take me out. But who knows? We will see about it guys. As of now, I really like the fact that the yellow player decided to pull one of his armies back in South America, in Venezuela or in a blocked place if we say in other words. And that indicates me that he maybe doesn't know how to properly play with progressive cards. As in progressive cards you shouldn't keep any of your armies in a blocked place. Your army should always be in a position and ready to take other players out when it's worth for their cards. But talking about this case, the yellow player probably saw that the blue player will potentially go for North America, so in order for his army to not be potentially taken down by blue, the yellow player decided to pull his army back. So most likely that's why. So I'm still worried that he can be smart enough to take me out as soon as it will be worth for my cards. And also since the blue player actually captured North America, the yellow's army became unblocked again, so now all of his armies are prepared in position to potentially take someone out. But the person who I see is not really experienced playing with progressive cards is blue. It wasn't really smart to wipe all of the player troops out of North America to capture it, as he just made these players easier to be taken out, and you don't want that it would be easy for others to take someone out. Plus he lost some troops capturing it. Well, he will regain them after 2 turns, but I mean it can be really possible that he will get invaded when the value sets will become higher, for example either by yellow or orange player, especially by the orange, as he is a novice, and basically all of the novices play with progressive cards in the way they would play with fixed cards. They're trying to get a continent by themselves and trying to ruin other troop bonuses by invading them into their continents. But we will see how it goes for him. Maybe it wasn't a bad decision at all. And oh no guys, the green player captured the last yellow player's territory with which he could attack one. Meaning that he will be forced to either attack one of blue or orange player armies, or my 8 troops in Australia. And most likely he will decide to attack my troops in Australia, and that's pretty bad, as after he clears my troops out from it, I will be a very easy target. Or wait a minute. Wow, he actually decided to attack blue. That's so nice, that is so nice. Anyways, let's see what is the orange player up to. In the last turn he continued adding troops next to my army in Europe, and I didn't like it. If a novice rank player builds an army next to you, then it means that he probably wants to take that army down, as he potentially is afraid of that army, or want to go for the continent he put that army in. I didn't want that it would have stayed next to me, so I decided to attack into unguarded Orange's Africa, hoping that he will use his 11 troops army to recapture Africa and then use that army to guard his border. So let's see what the orange player is up to. And oh wow guys, I cannot believe that I've got blitzed for no reason again. What a waste of troops. Well, I mean, I should have expected that from a novice rank player. I should have probably moved these troops I had in Europe to Asia and they would have been saved. But on the other hand, I didn't want to unleash Green's big army. Remember, don't you never ever mess with novices, guys. Have you watched the latest episode of Risk yet? Anyways, I guess the yellow player could have taken the blue player totally out, instead of leaving him to someone else. I think with the help of balanced blitz he would have succeeded. But instead of that, he just gave away him to me, and to be honest I cannot complain. Well, maybe the yellow player would have failed taking blue out, who knows, it doesn't really that matter anymore. I'm just happy that the person who got to take the blue player out is me. After I took the blue player out, I was thinking where I should put my army to. Definitely I didn't want to add it to Europe, as then the orange player would have been triggered again and potentially would have wiped that army out, as remember he even has 4 cards, meaning that he most likely will have a set. Also I couldn't have added it in North America next to Yellow's big army, as that would have irritated him and maybe he would have attacked them as well. Of course it would have been stupid, but beginners are beginners, guys. Also if I put the troops to North America, additionally I wouldn't have access to orange and green players. So at the end, to not irritate anyone, and to have access to at least 2 players, I put the troops to Asia. Well, it seems the green player got a little bit triggered, as for some reasons she decided to capture a lot of territories of mine. I didn't understand why, as she wasn't in the danger at all. She had 0 cards in total, and nobody wouldn't taken her out for 1 card. So it was really purposeless, I would say. Also she just blocked her biggest army off from the other players, meaning that she won't be able to take them out. The only 2 reasons I can think of why she captured that many territories, is because she either wanted to encourage others to attack me as well, or was thinking of potentially taking me out in the next turn, in case I wouldn't be smart enough to recapture many territories, and if in case the yellow player wiped out my troops from Australia. But to be honest, I probably even like that the green decided to capture a lot of territories instead of doing something else, as she left the orange player for me. The orange player didn't have a set at 4, so I even got to take him out with 5 cards, and it's so amazing. Currently I have a big advantage against the other players. And in case the yellow player hasn't realized that I'm going to take him out, and won't capture many territories, and if the green player won't block my biggest army by adding her army to either one of Europe territories or Greenland, then I won the game. To be honest, it would have been a smarter decision made by me if I had added my troops to Ukraine territory rather than Northern Europe, as then the green player wouldn't have been able to block the yellow player from me anyhow, but she didn't block him anyway, so that's good. And if you ask me why I didn't add my troops to Alaska territory instead, it is because I think it would have been very obvious for yellow what I'm going to take him out, so he potentially would have captured a lot of territories to be safe. So yeah guys, since nobody stopped me from taking the yellow player out, and since the yellow player didn't spread out himself, I'm going to win this game so easily. After taking the yellow player out, I will capture as many green territories as possible and then potentially take her out in the next turn if she doesn't capture a lot of territories. Goodbye yellow, you are a nice fellow. Thanks to you I took the blue player out and it helped me out a little bit. Well, the game deciding point was probably when I've got to take the orange player out for even 5 cards. In case he had a set, he should have definitely traded it in. It's usually a very bad idea to hold your cards to 5 after the first round of sets. But from the cards I've got after taking him out, I saw that he didn't have a set, so he just got quite unlucky. Anyways, the game isn't over yet. So let's see what the green player is up to. Maybe she will still come up with something. But I really doubt it. It really seems I won the game, especially when the purple player is 0 carding and do nothing. Well, as soon as he gets a card, he will be wiped out by me. And oh wow guys, the green player has made the biggest mistake someone can make in the endgame. She blocked her biggest army. So unless she has a set, the game is totally over for her. Look guys, I will get so many troops by holding South America, Europe, Africa and Asia. Yes, the purple player didn't even invade them, That is so good. The game is totally over for both of the players. Let's take both of them out, guys. And lol, the green player is offering an alliance request. Like, why would you offer an alliance when you're being taken out? Lol. There's no benefit for me to keep you alive. I want to win the game as soon as possible. Well, maybe the green player wanted that I would have taken the purple player firstly, but anyways, it's over. Thank you very much to those who are supporting my channel. And see all of you soon, guys. Peace out.